Tonight, a tragic start to the holiday season with a freak fatality on the Southeastern Freeway.
Michael Jackson tells the world he's innocent of child sex allegations.
And business tycoon John Elliott charged over the theft of $66 million.
Good evening. Also tonight, a local company calls on others to jointly sponsor the Adelaide Grand Prix.
But first, just 2 days before Christmas, a tragic accident on the Southeastern Freeway has claimed the life of a 52-year-old Murray Bridge man. He was hit by 2 trucks in succession as he was trying to climb into the cab of his parked rig. Such was the carnage that the freeway was closed for over 8 hours.
Just after 3 this morning, police were called to the Adelaide-bound lane of the Southeastern Freeway on the Callington side of Mount Barker. The driver of a parked fruit and veg truck was about to climb into his cab when a 2-truck collision happened right next to him. A fully loaded semi-trailer rear-ended a grain truck it was attempting to overtake. The grain truck was forced sideways and, in a freak chain reaction, knocked down the unsuspecting driver. The man's body was hit by another semi and dragged 50 metres down the road. All traffic to Adelaide was detoured through Mount Barker while a man and a woman in one of the semis were rushed to hospital. It was 9 hours before police were able to reopen the freeway. The road toll for this year now stands at $211. New Minister for Transport, Diana Laidlaw, points out this is 3.5 times the number of South Australians killed during the Vietnam War. It's 46 more than last year's exceptionally low figure of 165.
These sorts of accidents unfortunately do happen, and the potential is here because of the number of vehicles on the roads at this time of the year. So I'm asking people to really do the right thing this year and see if we can keep our roads safe this Christmas.
Peter Caldecott, 7 Nightly News.
Humiliated but determined to prove his innocence, superstar Michael Jackson delivered a satellite message to the world today, an emotional denial of allegations that he molested a young boy. He attacked authorities and the media for judging him guilty before he's even been given a fair trial.
I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent.
Live by satellite from his ranch outside Los Angeles, this was Michael Jackson, alone, defending himself from what he called disgusting statements. Angry at the media and police, shocked at having been strip-searched this week.
They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder.
The 13-year-old boy he's accused of molesting is said to have given police a detailed description of distinguishing marks on Jackson's body. Jackson said police told him if he refused the examination, it would be taken as a sign of guilt.
It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it.
Police won't say if they found what they were looking for, but they have made Michael Jackson angry enough to start fighting back. In Los Angeles, Paul Marshall, 7 Nightly News.
Foster's may have pulled the pin on the Grand Prix and Lion Nathan may not want to be a full-scale replacement, but there is one brewer putting up its hand to get involved. After a week of depression, local beer maker Coopers has declared it wants a slice of the action.
It's bad enough that Adelaide lost the Grand Prix. After 1996, the circus will pitch its tent in Melbourne. That leaves us with just 3 years. What's worse is Grand Prix organisers are battling to find a major sponsor, since Foster's pulled out last month. Its deal was believed to be worth more than $2 million. To the rescue, Coopers, South Australia's family brewer. The local company wants to fill the void, but not on its own.
We feel that for the last 3 years of this Grand Prix to go, that it should be South Australian companies to get behind it and make it a success.
Coopers met with the Grand Prix board yesterday. It's happy for a joint sponsorship arrangement to support the race. Coopers hopes that by putting its hand up, it'll lure other companies out of the shadows.
I don't think it would take a lot. Cooper's is a substantial size company and there are other major companies in South Australia. I don't believe there would be maybe 2 or 3, that would be it.
Coopers will present its final proposal to race organisers tomorrow and should know whether or not it'll be a starter by mid-January. Sponsorship talk is all the rage across the border as well. Premier Jeff Kennett says his government will allow tobacco companies to sponsor the Melbourne Grand Prix, so bending Victoria's strict anti-tobacco laws.
For major specific events, there is provision for exemptions, and I tell you what, we're not going to do a John Cain. We're not going to lose things of value to this city, this state, by being priggish over cigarette sponsorships.
Paul Childs, 7 Nightly News.
High-flying businessman John Elliott has been charged with stealing $66 million amid pandemonium at the Melbourne Magistrates Court. 2 other former executives of Elders IXL were also charged today over a foreign exchange dealing.
Late this afternoon, businessman John Elliott was charged at the National Crime Authority headquarters, a move the authority has waited several years to make. Within half an hour, flanked by NCA officers, Mr Elliott and 2 former directors of Elders IXL arrived at the Melbourne Magistrates Court to face the theft and conspiracy allegations. Mr Elliott